Yo, what up guys, Sammy Lee here from the Soul Brothers, and today I just got in the Converse All-Star Pro BB, a shoe that I've been looking forward to for a while now, and finally got it in. It's $140, which is actually kind of cheap, on the cheaper side, especially if you're comparing this to the Kobe 360, which I'll do in another video. But it's basically the same shoe, same designer and all that, but it's actually $60 cheaper. You know, the Kobe 360 was 200 bucks, so I'd say it's a pretty good price. Overall, the shoe seems very simple, but the tech is actually quite good. Played in it yesterday once, so I played in these just once, so I guess it's kind of like my first impression slash first wear slash tech overview. Let's get it started off with the tracciones. So the traction looks very similar to the pattern that you find in like the old Converse shoes, you know, just kind of like a square, but I guess it looks a little bit more zoomed in on the All-Star Pro BB. Sorry, this shoe's really old, so. But nevertheless, it is very translucent. It looks like, you know, you can see the Converse logo, I guess kind of like inside of the outsole. And it's more of a milky white colorway. It's not fully translucent. I'd say it's around 80% opacity. So I played in these yesterday and the bite is insanely good. Really good bite on a clean court, but on dust it was picking it up pretty quickly, like fairly fast, so I had to wipe like a lot. So, you know, it picks up dust and then, you know, I'd slide around just a little bit, nothing too crazy as far as like me sliding out like crazy and it being dangerous. But, you know, I did find myself wiping a lot, and you can see there's a lot of like dirt and debris on here. So the rubber compound seems good, but like I guess maybe the pattern has something to do with trapping dust or something like that. But hopefully it does break in and it picks up dust a little bit less. Well, you know, once I play in it more, but I kind of doubt it. I feel like it'll just not good on dust. And outdoor use should be good. I mean, it's not the deepest groove, but the rubber is pretty hard and it seems like it's gonna last a pretty long time. So the outsole seems durable. So as of right now, feels really nice. Just a little disappointed on dust. It wasn't a huge deal. I just found myself wiping a lot, but once I wiped, I got a really good stop. The outsole does come up and wrap around here like a lot throughout the entire shoe, and also you have this little cutout right here on both the lateral and medial side. So you know, there's a little bit more flex right here, so it doesn't bubble up and rip. So that's a nice little touch as well, and the shoe is really flexible. You know, it's not stiff at all. Moving on to the cushion. So the cushion is right here. It says Converse Nike React right here, and I guess there is a nice little fabric material, so you have a little bit more grip, you know, so you're not sliding around here on top of the actual React drop-in midsole. It would have been nice if it was kind of like the Mamba Instinct, where if they had, you know, the Mamba Instinct has like a little ribbed pattern, so that really locked down your foot. But this isn't bad, it's more of like a fabric material. Here it says Comfort Arch, so the arch does come up a little bit, so that's good. It says here increase sidewall height for maximum containment. And Eric Avar is a genius. I don't know, you know, he's really good at making basketball shoes. It says Converse right here. So as you guys can see, the sidewall comes up a lot. If you look at the shoe, there's not a lot of stuff containing you. You know, I guess there is an internal TPU heel counter, but like there is a little bit of fuse, and then the orange also is kind of like an underlaying material to add a little bit of support, which we'll get into for materials. But this sidewall also coming up a lot. You know, this drop-in midsole is gonna contain you in when you're doing a lot of lateral movements, and I don't think this is gonna rip or anything. And it's just genius. You know, you're right on top of the cushion, so there's no need for a strobo board. You can, you know, increase the sidewall, so you have increased support. You know, you drop down the weight. You can make the cushion a lot thinner as well. And yeah, it's just a genius idea. Containment, lockdown, all that seems like it's gonna be really good. It comes up a crazy amount in the heel as well. There also is a little bit of a texture here. You know, I guess it's kind of like the Kobe 360s maybe, so it doesn't, you know, slide around in the shoe as well. It says on the Converse and Nike website that this is a React core. So I'm guessing the entire thing is not React, you know? And if you kind of look at it, like there is a little bit of a cutout here, dude. You know, so I'm guessing maybe just the middle part, the core part is React, and maybe like the perimeter outside is another type of foam, you know, like a Phylon or something like that. And it definitely isn't crazy soft. I can definitely feel my foot digging into the cushion and feels really nice, but it's not crazy soft like the Epic Reacts, you know, the Vapor Streets. And I feel like this being a core has something to do with that. It has a nice little bounce in the forefoot and in the heel though. That feels great. But I was expecting a little bit more compression and a little bit more digging in, you know, into the cushion. But nonetheless, it's still really nice. Court feels really good. Impact protection seems like it's gonna be great as well. All right, moving on to the materials. So the materials, Converse is actually calling it a quad fit mesh. It reminds me a lot of the Kobe 360, you know, the 360 Flyknit. Super duper thin, really thin. It's literally a one layer mesh, and it's crazy. I mean, there are fuse overlays, like here it goes around the entire shoe, this white part. You have this orange as well, which I think is an underlaying material, which, you know, adds for durability and support, and that goes around the entire shoe as well. And then here in the basically the entire upper, you have the quad fit mesh. And if you guys see here, you know, there is a little very thin layer of a synthetic material that overlays here, and it just kind of stops right here, you know. And then if you get to right here, and I guess kind of like on the medial side as well, it's just the single layer quad fit mesh material, and it's so well ventilated, so thin, very minimal. It feels a little plasticky, but you know, I feel like it's gonna break in and get really soft. The tongue also is the same. There's a little bit of padding on it, but it's mostly that quad fit mesh system, and maybe a little bit of foam here on the inside. Also here in the ankle area, you have this thick material. It's more of like a canvas, you know, fabric type of material, and they made it a little bit thicker so that this part doesn't dig into your Achilles and your ankle area, which is a great idea because, you know, on the sides it's a little you know, thin. So I feel like if they kept it this thickness, it would have dug into my Achilles. Also, you have a little bit of an Achilles pillow type of thing. You know, it goes around and then thins up a lot where the material comes up on your ankle. So it's the quad fit mesh throughout the entire upper, but here on the medial side in the ankle area, it's more of like, I guess, the canvas type of material. I guess they're trying to throw it back to the old style Converse. But overall, the materials are super thin. I mean, if I put my finger through, you can see my finger inside the actual upper. So it's also cool that, you know, if you wear a different color sock, you can kind of see through it. You know, that's a nice little touch, but it's not too see-through like the Element 55 is. All right, moving on to the fit. I went down half a size, and that might have been a bad idea. I mean, it's really tight in the toe area, pretty narrow. Not crazy narrow, but it's slightly narrow. So I would suggest going true to size, but you just watch out for it being slightly narrow. Also, it is pretty hard to put on. I mean, it is a high, and the tongue doesn't really open up that much. And also you have your, I guess, flat tapeworm laces, which is actually nice. You know, it's easy to pull, and it kind of, if you have OCD like me, it kind of like stays straight. It doesn't like, you know, flip over and stuff because it's so wide. But, you know, fit is great for me. Moving on to the weight. So I feel like, you know, you guys already know this is going to be super light. And the weight is 10.34 ounces. Oh my gosh, that's super light. I mean, I would have liked it to be a low, but you know, this ankle is so thin that it really it doesn't really feel cumbersome. It doesn't restrict your ankle movement that much. Let's actually measure this. So the actual React core drop-in midsole is 2.82 ounces, and the actual upper / outsole is 7.3. And just to show you guys how minimal this shoe is without this, I guess this kind of adds for a little bit of spring back, it like kind of acts as a midfoot shank a little bit. You know, kind of, it bounces back into shape. But the upper and outsole is look at that. Look at this. Holy crap. You know, that's super duper minimal. Look at that. Also, another thing I am interested in is the actual thickness of the midsole. So let's measure that right now actually. So I have a caliper ruler thing. I don't really know what to call it. Wow, so 13.2 millimeters thick. So that's actually really thin. And in the heel, this is kind of hard to do. 19.6. What was that? 19 and 12? So that's like a 6-7 millimeter offset. Pretty flat. and court feel is very good. You know, that's really low to the ground. Moving on to the aesthetics, I love these. I love the little touches of orange and the overall shoe. This colorway, the white looks clean. Just worried about it getting dirty, but yeah, these are fire. But anyways, yeah, my first impressions are great. Everything about the shoe I love right now. It's just the traction on dust that I'm kind of iffy on. Anyways, for 140 bucks and a React cushion, I feel like this is like, if you want to cop when it comes out, you definitely should. But of course, you can always wait for the performance review, which will be coming soon. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace.